Well, love is in the air, and so are many pollutants. Today, we'll take you to a Silicon Valley startup who's making you more aware of what you breathe in and how you can monitor it. Welcome to tomorrow's world. Many years ago, we never worried about the food we eat, whether it's organic, whether it's chemical free, whether it's FDA approved. Well, just like that, today we don't worry about our environment and the air we breathe in, though that is actually an integral part of our health and our well-being. Today, I'll take you to a company called Not Another One who's created this device which actually will tell you what is in the air and how you can control the air that you intake. Well, we're now going to talk to Vera. Vera is the CEO of Not Another One. Vera, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell me, how did this name come about, Not Another One?
Well, it's quite simple. We just thought we should be really different from everybody else. And this
Not
is how
another one. No one else has this.
No.
Now tell me, how did this company come about? How did you get the people together? How did the thought come in your mind? What did you do step by step?
We have a great team. We've been working together for years in other companies. And then finally, at some day, we decided just to join and create our own company and provide development services for others.
Now, was there like a turning point in your life that you thought that air pollution has to be measured?
Of course. We've been traveling to China quite a lot because we were doing the manufacturing of the other products. And every time we've been there, we were quite concerned about the air pollution, but there were no tools to measure the actual situation in the place where we've been. So you do know that the air is not really nice in China in general, right? But you don't really know if it's dangerous for you in this particular moment, in this particular place. So this is how we came up with the idea to create Atmotube, a wearable tiny device that you can carry around with you all the time, and it would just tell you the air pollution in real time.
Well, let's back up a little bit. You said you worked for other companies, you were developing other products. Did that really help you to start your own company, and how different is it to be working for a company as opposed to having your own?
Our experience did help us a lot, so the engineering part was quite smooth. However, when we were developing products for others, we didn't really care how to sell them or how to market them. And here, with our own product, we really have to do a lot of work on the business development side, on the go-to-market strategy. And these are quite new things for us, but that's exciting as well.
It's interesting that a lot of companies, when you start, you have to really know all aspects and all elements. You may not be the best in that, like marketing, sales, finance, but you have to have a knowledge of all these areas when you are a CEO of a company. Is that right?
That's right. Or you have to learn quickly.
How does one do that?
Well, you have to learn quickly, as I just mentioned. So if you don't know something, you really need to get to know this straight away. So there are a lot of ways you can get experience in some other areas that you're not yet familiar with. You can, of course, get some people into your team. You can go to some courses. You can do a lot of stuff.
Now let's talk about, you have this idea, you know we need a product to measure air pollutants, right? Then what do? You have people, you have an idea. What is it that you first think about doing?
Well, it's a teamwork, so everybody in our team basically does its own job, right, in order to make this product happen. We did spend a lot of time for R&D when we were searching for proper components, when we were choosing the right sensors, and we were setting up all the calibration process and everything. So the R&D is probably the main part that we usually start with, and it's probably the longest part in the overall product development.
Now, in this journey, what do you think you've learned the most? I mean, while developing this particular product as an entrepreneur in this whole journey, what has been your learning?
We've learned that the air pollution is quite a difficult thing to measure. For example, we've figured out that most of the plastics in just around us, they do emit certain air pollutants, and if you use these plastics in your product, then the sensor will still detect some slight air pollution and the data readings will be wrong. So we spent probably 4 months just choosing the proper materials that would not be emitting any air pollutants.
Okay, let's talk about the product. What does it exactly do? Let me understand that first.
Right, so it measures air pollution. It detects a wide range of volatile organic compounds that include formaldehyde, benzene, stolon, and lots of other gases. It detects carbon monoxide as well. It measures temperature and humidity. So it comes with the mobile application. So basically, all the data that it reads, it sends to the mobile app, and then you can see in real time the air pollution, the concentration of volatile organic compounds, humidity and temperature.
What are the bad elements of the air right now? What are the elements that affect us the most? Let's understand that first.
Oh, there are so many air pollutants around us that we don't really know about, starting from quite general ones like VOCs in smoke, when people are smoking, when we have some fireplace, it emits carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. There are a lot of air pollutants in household chemicals, for example, and even in this office, the paints on the walls, the carpets.
There's more pollutants in the air, is that right? Because they emit more pollutants, right, when the chemicals around us gets heated?
It's more about the wind, I guess. So if you have a wind from the bay, for example, then the air gets a little bit more fresh, definitely, right?
Give us an example that's something you think is very, very alarming in the air right now. We are breathing it, not knowing what it is causing us.
Well, actually, the air here is quite safe.
Okay.
So there are no alarms
They made sure
at the
because
moment.
they knew the Atmotube is coming here today.
Of course. But we can move around the office and see in real time whether the situation changes and see if there are any sources of the particular air pollution inside.
What do you think would benefit the most out of this product?
First of all, we're targeting people who already suffer from things like asthma or COPDs. So for them, it's really important to understand the real-time situation, whether their health is in danger right now or not.
Now, does it detect all chemicals? Let's say we take it to a country where there are more chemicals than you find in the US because you did your R&D over here. Would it have the same impact somewhere else where the elements may be completely different because of different atmosphere?
We detect quite a wide range of volatile organic compounds. That's almost 200 different gases.
You would still have the same result in any other parts of the world is because you've done tests on the 200 VOCs?
Well, the pollutants are pretty much the same everywhere. So you get carbon monoxide everywhere, you get formaldehyde everywhere.
And tell me, is there any other product like this in the market yet? I would imagine that countries like, India, China, with that much population and that many chemicals in the air, somebody would have tried to make this, I'm sure.
Of course, there are a lot of products for indoor use, so like stationary air quality monitors, but you can't really take them with you when you go out. There are probably a couple of projects that we've seen that are starting to think about the wearable applications of the air pollution monitors. But I guess we're the first on the market and we're the most affordable, and we're also the tiniest.
Right. Now, did you have to compromise on anything? Let's say you have this idea that I want to build this product that's going to detect chemicals in the air. While you were making the product,
right.
Was there any compromise because of the limitations that are there in the market or in the atmosphere or in the design? Was there anything like that you had to make?
Yes, for sure. So ideally, we would want to fit in as many sensors for as many gases as we could, but that would mean that the product would become bigger and much more expensive. So this is why we had to carefully choose the components inside. So we would have the sensor for the group of gases that would include the most, I would say, general pollutants. That would still be very useful. And at the same time, we would keep the size small and the price quite low.
Now, did you stumble into any roadblocks? Like anyone said that you shouldn't be doing this? Because there are so many other people that are concerned about real, revelations that, this is bad and this is good. So was there any such roadblocks for you?
We were not really sure if people in the US and in Europe are aware about the air pollution and if they care enough to be able to, to get this product and if they will like it, etc. We do know that China is very concerned about the air pollution, but US and Europe, we didn't know before we started the Indiegogo campaign. But once we started, once we've seen all the amazing feedback.
They loved the product. There was nobody that came and told you, hey, you shouldn't be doing this because it affects my market. There wasn't anybody like that?
No, there wasn't anybody like that.
All right, so how do you want to market this now that you have the product today?
Well, we're starting our sales in US and Europe, and we are planning to expand to countries like China and India in about 5 months from now. It does come to a lot of customizations, translation to certain languages, translation of all the materials, adjustment of all the marketing materials, so it takes time. But our goal is to really go to international markets and to be present pretty much everywhere.
Well, you have an idea, then you have the product, then you raise some money, then you have a team, you have all the elements. Is there anything that worries you about the company that, that loses your sleep, that this may not work out in this area or that area? Any such worry that you have about it?
Of course, there are always lots of worries.
Sleepless nights.
Yeah, certainly. I think the most important thing for us right now is to really jump into sales and business development, since we are mostly experienced in product development and not really experienced in sales. So that would be the most difficult part for us right now.
Because that's the next leg. Now that you have a product,
exactly,
the next leg is that, right? Now that this is a very new, different kind of a product, it's almost an invention, is because you say that there's no one who's doing an outdoor monitoring in such a small capsule. It looks like a bullet that kills people, but it actually saves. But do you feel that because you didn't have any competitor, it became easier for you to accomplish what you wanted to?
It definitely does help when you are launching something for the first time, but I guess the market is developing so quickly that we are going to see so many products like this in the near half a year, I believe. So
let's a little bit understand the product itself. It looks like a very cute small bullet, which actually doesn't kill you but saves you. Tell me how it works. It syncs up to the phone. How many such devices can sync to the same phone, or how many phones can sync up to the same device?
Well, it sends all the data all over the Bluetooth protocol to your smartphone, so you can connect up to 10 devices to the same smartphone, or you can also connect up to 10 smartphones to the same device that's hanging, for example, in the middle of your office.
Now, what does it do exactly? How does it sync up to the phone, and what is it telling me? I mean, does it beep if there is a level which is higher than normal?
Right. So it reads the data all the time in the background mode. Once you open your application, you can see the data and the readings history on the graphs, for example, or on the map, so you can see the location of each reading and understand which are the areas with the most polluted air, for example. You also set up the level for the notification, so it would alert you when the air is not safe enough.
Even if the app is not on, I do get a beep if the notification...
The app still runs in the background, so it will send you push notifications and alarms depending on the air quality level.
So let's say in the middle of the night, for some reason the air composition changes around me. Would this beep loud enough so that I can wake up?
That's right.
Okay, so it's good for places where there are little kids and they're sleeping and you don't want them to breathe bad air. So
that's right.
Beep and probably wake you to get
Yes,
that.
well, there are two levels of the notifications. One level is just not notifying you that the air is not quite nice, maybe you should open the window, and then there is the second level of the actual alarm when the air is very dangerous.
But if you ask me, I think more than indoor, where we already have a detector in the house, this will be very useful outdoor, because actual pollutions are always outdoor. And countries like India, China, Beijing, it's like bad. I mean, you can almost smell the bad air, but you don't know what to do. I think
and you don't know how bad it is, right?
Exactly how bad it is, and how is it compared to any other place in the world, and how it should be, let's put it that way. With that much technology around us, that many products getting launched and that many factories getting built all around, we have no idea how bad the air is becoming. And some countries, you go outdoor, you can literally smell the bad air. but not maybe indoors as much. Am I right?
Yes and no. There are certainly countries with bad air pollution situations, such as China, India, and Mexico. However, I think we underestimate the amount of air pollutants inside our homes. Things like household chemicals, wall paint, carpets, they do emit a lot of quite dangerous air pollutants, and if you are exposed...
I would have never guessed in carpets and paints.
Exactly.
Every day in the house you're smelling bad air.
It depends on your home, of course, but if the ventilation is not good enough, if you have a gas stove or if you have a fireplace, for example, that can be the case when you're breathing quite dangerous air. And even low levels of the air pollution that you're breathing in every day actually can cause some serious consequences.
Over a long period of time,
Exactly,
of course.
yeah.
Now, what is it that you would advise someone to do? Let's say you get an alert. What can we do at that moment?
Well, since this is the real-time tracker of the air pollution, you can understand the effect of your actions immediately. So if you open the window, for example, you can see whether the air quality is getting better or worse straight away, right? So if you are removing some piece of furniture from your apartment, you can see the difference. So if you're closing the door in your car when you're moving in traffic, you can see if the air is getting better or worse. So if you have quite good filters in your car, for example.
So when you were building this product, of course, you tried it in a lot of places, outdoor and indoor. What was your worst experience? Like you took it somewhere and you're like, I can't believe I can read this.
Well, of course, China, Shenzhen in particular. So we've been there recently, and the readings there were not nice. So some days we had to stay in a hotel because it was quite dangerous to go outside.
What's your long-term plan with the product? I mean, are you going to take it to government offices and other places and tell them that there is something that they need to change about the air that they breathe in and do something about it? What is your long-term goal with it?
Of course, we want to take it everywhere, and we are building a real-time air pollution map where people can see where are those areas in the world with the most dangerous air, and where is it coming from? Is it from some particular factory, for example, or is there some airport in the area that's actually making this area less healthy,
Exactly.
right?
So right now you're selling it to consumers through stores and other online and other outlets.
Yes.
What is your long-term plan? Do you want to give it to people who are actually causing all the pollution, like, you know, factories, government offices, and people who take actions on, you know, air pollution?
Of course, that would be ideal. So we want to give information and awareness to people, to government, to all people who care. We are also starting our cooperation with Asthma and Allergy Network in the US. So we will be giving these devices to people who have asthma, because for them it's most important to understand the real-time situation and the real-time danger from the air.
It's very interesting that when we eat something, we've started to worry about what goes in our body. But we've never worried about how and what we breathe. And right now around us, I mean, it's almost a habit that we breathe and we don't care about what is in here. But, you know, she's actually making us think what we breathe, and I love that about you.
Thank you.